I gotta get going here for,
Oh.
I turn YouTube on.
Okay.
They should know not to schedule anything on Thursday.
They should, but they don't.
Why don't you tell them?
And of course, the night that the other people couldn't make it.
Last Thursday was what we originally scheduled for, but kind of sort of when you're not able to go out and venture, then you can't work.
Yeah.
So, it's all good. We'll make it.
We will. We're gonna have a record-setting pace on this meeting.
No, I can only write so fast,
Motion to
Michael.
adjourn.
That would be really
How
good.
record is that?
I'll call the meeting to order. 7:44. Come on, run home, man.
I got 42.
Go ahead. He's late. We want you to drive everything. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In case of fire or emergency, there's a chance to protect yourself. Here and there, in case of emergency, please exit the door and clear the building, so emergency squads and rescue squads can do their jobs. Thank you. So, no memorials. I'll indicate a resolution to adopt the minutes of the meeting as mailed.
I will make a resolution to adopt the minutes as mailed.
Motion by Patrica,
Yes, I'm
second
gonna second it. There's nobody else to second
by
it.
Sandy.
This will be fast.
Any omissions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Correct, no permanent subdivisions. Dog control officer, no report. Tax collector, she's done collecting our money.
Well, yep, town paid off and sent a check for $314,000 to the county. We had, I think, $60,000 more than last year coming in January. We got
Cool.
about 112 people left to pay, but we might not get as many late fees this year because.
Oh, well, too bad. Thank you, Kim. Anything else for the tax collector? Planning board report?
Yeah, the first thing on this is our recommendation from the planning board, which was approved by our planning board members, to add 2 people to the planning board, one a full voting member and one an alternate, and this needs to be approved by the town board. Full member would be Richard Cole, who's a resident of Hampton, president of the Hampton Volunteer Fire Company, a photographer with his own business, and a graduate of Stony Brook University. And the alternate would be Stuart Griffin. He's a resident in Lowhampton. He served in the military. He's a writer and an author. He lived in Colorado, visited much of the Northwest, served in moved to central Vermont, and retired here to Lowhampton in a big house with a barn on Manchester Road and Carter's Falls Road, so that he can garden and plant some fruit trees. And he winters in Florida, and that's why he's gonna be the alternate anyway, because he'll only be joining us by Zoom. And then I'll be getting in everything by email.
I thought you worked for GE.
He retired.
Oh, yeah, he did work for GE and then retired. That's what he was
You worked
doing.
with, He worked with Andrew's father.
Right. That's what he was doing. So,
My question is, do we have to do these individually or can we do it together? Because I might either way.
It depends, I'm gonna approve both of them.
I'm gonna vote to approve both of
Maybe I'll
David,
vote against.
them. You can,
I mean, neither one of them.
but here's the deal. Let's see if we can find anybody to volunteer.
No kidding.
I say we approve. I'll make
They're
the
both good
resolution
people.
Resolution, what's the resolution?
To accept both.
to accept both of the planning board. Richard is the full-time and
Stuart,
Stuart is the alternate.
Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I guess it passed. Anything else?
Okay, yes, survey results we have so far is 114 online, 2 print ones since you didn't get any, so that's 116. And that includes 11 farmers, 7 with farmland owners, but not farming, and the rest are just residents.
pretty good.
We, at our planning board meeting, we looked at all these different maps of Hampton. There's all different, done in all different ways, and we're gonna keep looking to make sure that parcels all were done with what their uses are. But like when I looked at the one where Alan Reed is with the old orchard and across the street that was an orchard, it's listed as an orchard. One side has no trees because they were all cut down, and the other side, there's nothing left of it. So I would not call those orchards anymore. I'd call them vacant land, I guess, because they're not even,
Right, but there's, some of it was ag, I mean.
it's still ag.
It's still ag.
Right, it's just that it looks like we have all these orchards and things, but I
They're
mean,
not there.
they're not there,
Do
so.
they produce $10,000 of income off those properties?
What?
Do they produce $10,000 of income off those properties
No,
a year? Then they're not ag.
no, they're not there for the assessment anyway,
Okay.
but they're still in the agricultural district, so if someone did something else with it,
Right.
it's in the district and they'd be able to be reassessed if they got $10,000 worth of it. Be like me, if I could find a way to do $10,000 on what I got.
Sometimes it doesn't pay to reassess because your reassessment may go up more than your.
Right.
I mean, you can sell hay in your apartment.
Yeah. The other thing that we're doing is that we're going to be having, our next meeting would normally be March 9th, which is when we're going to have it. We're going to be doing a big roundtable with an outreach to different agencies within the county. So I talked to Brian Gilchrist from Cornell County Extension. He's gonna come. Corinna Aldrich from County Soil and Water Conservation District is gonna come. And I've got some others out there that I contacted, but they haven't gotten back to me. One is Kim Trombley, the field advisor for Washington Farm Bureau. Renee, and I can't pronounce her last name, from ASA. And I want to talk to Pamela Landy from County Planning. So that what we're gonna do is, we need all these people to kind of give us an idea of what they can bring to the table. And how we make outreach eventually to getting new farming people in or whatever it is. We just have to gather all this expertise now, because our next goal is to create the vision of what we're gonna be doing and the goals of how you get to those and the strategies. So these people have been very helpful, and Brian and Corinna are both our in-kind people anyway. And so we will, and I'm always glad they're going to be very helpful. So that's going to be March 9th. It's going to be here, and we're going to do another big roundtable thing like we did with the farmers.
What time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
So that was the end of that meeting, pretty much. And our next meeting is March 9th.
Okay. Any questions for Bonnie?
Yeah, and I do have to say, our steering committee, which was our planning board, and with Roger, because he's now teaching again, but he said anything that we had, and we can keep running our information by him. He was he had a lot of information that he could always give us. He's very knowledgeable and a good person, so I'm sorry to see him not be able to join us.
Anything else?
No,
Okay. Tyler,
There's no good news.
Mother.
No, actually, we got good news as of today. Next meeting, we'll have different stuff. So we've been fortunate enough this month that we haven't had too many ice ups or snows. What we've got through quickly. With the cold weather, not much precipitation, we have taken the time to build a new sand screen. Keep our frozen chunks out of our equipment. So I called around about a new screen just to give you a rough idea. We were looking at 10 to 15,000. We'd purchase for 1,000 for the bare screen frame, and what we got into it as of today, and it was supposed to be finished, but that'll be Monday. We have about $1,500.81. I thought so too. I was really mad about the 81 cents.
Put it over the top.
We look good, in pretty good shape as of right now for our sand and salt. We are gonna order one more load, hopefully that'll be it, and that'll put us into the next season with a full bin. That would put us around 173 tons for the total 21-22 season purchase. Spoke with Jim Hogan at Washington County about the starting of the T7 culvert project, which if anybody didn't see the plans, over here. We did have the engineers come up for a little while the other day. Everything is really good shape. May, June, Mike, I know you were asking, May, June, I told you. Probably in another couple of weeks when they get their culvert set, what dates they're doing there. Jim is gonna set us a date and we're gonna run with it. So we're hoping no later than the second week of June. But once we set the date, we're gonna try to say that's stone.
And is he gonna do the excavation as well?
They're supplying us with an excavator, a bulldozer if I want it, vibratory roller, and an operator.
Okay,
We have a really good operator we worked with on Hills Pond Road. We took out the 1,100 feet of ledge. Awesome guy. We will just be supplying the trucks, manpower, stuff there. Spoke with Louis Whitehall. His trucks are at our disposal for them days.
Good.
So that project we're looking at 2 days.
what about rerouting traffic? What do we do with that? Just signs?
Well, we're hoping to close the road completely during the work days. We're not gonna have it we'll have the road open up the end of the day and then reclose again the following day for completion. Hold on.
I mean, you can get there on, it's a pain in the neck. I mean,
County, I asked the county if they do all the signing, because they got a guy just does signs. So before, we're looking a month before the project, signs will go up. We'll do our best with emails.
Sure.
There's always gonna be that one person that's gonna come down late and say, I didn't know.
Too bad.
So it is what it is there. So that project looks like we're gonna be completed early. South Road, as far as what we're paving, I gotta put an order for those culverts in, which there's gonna be 6 sections of 15-inch culvert, 2 sections of 18. And that call will go in the lane for what they can quote us on that. Next thing is when this culvert gets, they should have it, they told me they have this metal culvert for the T7 project. Should be done in correspondence with what we're looking at county. So far, we're in good shape. We're glad we ordered it when we did, because they tell me now that the spiral metal's getting hard. The coiled metal, they're having a hard time getting that, so. Yeah, county was actually shocked. They said, are we still doing this project? Like, can you get the culvert? I said, yeah, I got it coming. They're like, well, you're lucky. When you ordered, it's a few weeks ago. Well, we got a couple that we might not be able to get, so. What else? So the cold weather, we pulled it out vehicles and vehicle inspections. During these inspections, we noticed that the 2012 Dodge is pretty rough. 10 years on a 1-ton truck with municipals, pretty hard. We should start thinking and looking towards a replacement. A truck's pretty valuable. It's used throughout the summer. We don't need that breaking down on Glens Falls or Cold Patch, whatever. And getting rid of it at a time where it still has a saleable value. And there might be something we could do there with giving up our utility truck too, if we wanted to. And going to one ton here, we might, if we go to the new truck, order a little bit longer, toolboxes between the cab, and using one truck for everything. It is convenient to have the two, but right now what we're finding is maintaining 2 trucks throughout the winter or whatever is, I mean, there's a couple times during the summer it is nice having the 2, but right now the utility truck pretty much is just carrying chainsaws. So with a little bit of sweat labor, we can switch stuff out between dirt and whatever. Besides that, that is the past 30 days.
Okay, well, you'll have to start looking around for trucks because you have to look at your contract and have to get them out.
Yeah.
Throw in a little bit of mud.
Yeah. If we can even get a truck.
That could be a possibility as well.
A friend of mine just hit a tree at the end of the driveway, okay, slow down and hit a tree. Insurance company took the truck, he's getting the truck back. They told him they can't get him another truck, the same as that one, they can't get one even close, they're gonna reframe rail the whole truck.
It's amazing.
Maybe you'll have an electric truck coming.
Yeah, Which section of South Road is being repaved this summer? From 18, hopefully, I gotta get numbers. Okay. It all depends how much blacktop goes up. I did talk to Ken Luskin, and he, right now, everything looks good, but
18
it's gotta go up. I mean, it's, with everything else, it's gotta go up. So
18 to Tammy's.
we might make it there. The cows are gonna have a nice road.
Right.
We then go to where we stopped just below Mike's house a couple years ago. And get to that section, and we're hoping to have enough money at the end of that, so when the culvert goes in on the other end, we can repave over that, so you guys are not driving on dirt, but I'm making a lot of promises here. I don't know if I can-
You don't know. I have to see how the numbers come out, right? We got a limited budget. We're gonna do as much as we can.
I believe the way it looks now with Dave gave me some numbers, everything looks good for what we had last year, it looked about the same. We should be able to do everything that I'm expecting to do as of right now, but we still, we're gonna talk numbers for another 2 months, so a lot can change.
So all we do is play it, go along like it is and adjust, react as it, the prices go where they go.
Well, last year, we didn't know what we were getting because the emergency road fund
Mhm.
was 2 months after what chips and Big New York was gonna be, but they made chips part of the permanent budget, so as long as that passes, we'll be all set, so we'll know the numbers. And I'm just gonna try and look it up for a second, because I don't remember what the numbers were. But it looked like we're gonna have, because we're putting in more of our own money this year, we increased by $10,000. So we'll be up a little bit more. But last year, we also had $10,000 left from the year before.
Yeah,
So it might be just about the same amount, 120.
Tyler, when you do that project that you're talking about with the county and closing the road, I'm sure you've worked on the highway before, you notify county control, so
Yeah.
fire department, rescue squads, okay.
that'll all be.
Fire department doesn't know.
What's that?
I said, it's not like the fire department doesn't know, we're right here.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, I know, but I mean, the exact date, it's kind of
Yeah.
nice, I mean,
Yeah.
We've gotten, I know over the past few years, me and Herb started actually making direct calls to the local EMSs and stuff, because we had an incident where we called county, and for some reason that didn't get through to, one of the emergency crews. We had a little boggle up. I mean, we're lucky, a fast swing excavator and move some dirt, we can get people through, but it put us behind for a few minutes. So we are trying to do a better job of that, and being the county's on the project,
right,
Well,
they're pretty good.
you gotta contact public safety, give them the information, because they
Yeah.
are right on the computers, and when a call comes up, they've got the radio right there in front of them.
Yep,
Same thing with the police, and state police, they have that on public safety 911. As soon as the call comes in, they'll route it, they'll see the blockage in the road and tell them how to route.
yep, perfect, that's what we.
and just a food for thought when we're talking, when Dave just said that, like, I don't know how bad Hills Pond Road may or may not get in that one section that we have. But if it gets like that, because remember when we had that before, the rescue squad, I mean, we had a call and,
No, we're gonna check it out first thing in the morning, and if it's questionable.
no, but I mean, even in the springtime, when it gets to the point where like cars are almost getting stuck, it's like, you might want to just let them, yeah,
Tomorrow morning, you're gonna have it.
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They
Oh,
don't stay
boy.
off it. It's gonna be, so what we'll do is we'll call the county and tell them it's.
Yeah, not passable, don't
not
send rescue
passable.
squad
Well,
up.
that's how we have to put it in, it's not passable, the road's still considered open, not passable, they'll pass that around. And you just have the local guys that still think it's pretty fun to go through there.
Close the road, close it.
Yeah.
And they'll go around it, just
You
like
gotta
they,
find moving concrete barriers to stop them,
Oh.
it's been done before. If everybody, I mean, if everybody worked around it the best they could, and Betty's only used it to get in there, we wouldn't be in bad shape. Once the first rock goes to the ditch side and the water can't leave, to get to the ditch side, then we're back in the.
Well, it's not just that, the fact that the sides of roads don't melt, but
There'll be a place you could have gone over. there.
how many people are gonna talk at one time? Bonnie, How many people are gonna talk at one time?
Sorry,
I talk to you about this almost every time.
I know, I'm sorry.
So,
I just said I just had told him I was on Roberts Lane today. And what happens is what you're saying, there'll be a place where you could have driven around where it was flat enough. And these guys go through and just make giant ruts. It's
that's
just.
not the problem, Bonnie. The sap makers are going up through there with big trucks.
Oh,
He hasn't been there yet.
there?
You must have been, because they're sapping already.
No, he wasn't up in there, as of, we know what we got Monday. But there's nothing to do about it.
No.
He falls under the sugar, and it falls under right to farm.
Yep.
So we just chase him. Doesn't bother me, I did sugar for a long time, I was that guy.
Problem is
John Tanner used to give me the look a lot when I was younger.
How far is it, from where they pick up the sap?
All the way,
All the way?
pretty much,
That's too bad. I was gonna say.
It's almost all the way up. It's up to,
right to the top of the hill, so you got 500 feet at the top, that's golden, I guess.
yeah, the frost is so deep this year, it's gonna be worse, longer this year.
Great from here.
It's not gonna be great. Okay. over there.
Anything else for, Tyler?
Thank you.
Supervisor report, please review supervisor report. You had adjustment last month at the end of the year. Karen admitted putting in the deposit we made, so if you made that adjustment, that's that one sheet.
It's the highlight.
Sign sheet. Your sheet. Questions on the supervisor report?
Just the two adjustments,
We made these last year.
yeah, those came in last year, but she just didn't put them in, so they're on here now.
No,
No, no,
it was a
adjustment.
shaded
It was
thing.
a shaded thing, equipment reserve fund.
Oh, gotcha, that's 25
She
bucks.
copies last year and forgot the $25,000. Everything else has already been taken care of. Anything else on the supervisor report?
I'll make a resolution to put the supervisor report as presented.
Motion by Don, second by Mike.
I'll second it.
Any additions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Old business, internet's been upgraded, half of the phones been upgraded. So we are moved to everything Spectrum. Increase the speed and the throughput for internet. So seems to be better. And we'll see what happens from here. I fixed yours out there.
No, I'm just laughing about, see if I get babysitter wages for watching Spectrum guys all day.
They weren't here that long. Oh, yes, they were.
Yes, they were.
He was 2 hours late. He didn't finish a job. Okay, so that's set. The 9042 number is gonna be fax line and voice line. So we get it hooked up. 9042 will be the judge's number, the fax line. We don't use the fax line very often. I checked, we've got 20 faxes all year. For the past 2 months, so. No sense in paying it when we use the voice and fax. That's done. New business. Mike, it's in your hands.
So the fire department recently just installed a backup generator. I think with the install with the generator, $6,800, I think. And we did that because we didn't have any redundancy there, and we function as the town's emergency shelter if need be. So we thought it was a good idea. And then we discussed it as a group, a bunch of us here too. And I thought I would bring it to the board because it seems to me we should be able to justify that expense using our COVID relief funds, because it's for the good of the community. It's kind of health and welfare. And we might want to put one here too, but that's a separate thing. But you can, if we have with this kind of violent weather we have too, it seems like power outages are more anticipating to be worse. you could always bring in, you could charge your laptop or your phones if you need to. You could get warm. If we had to, we could feed people because we have a full kitchen downstairs too. So that was our thought, and I asked Dave to put it on the agenda and see what you folks thought.
So I've got the numbers out. We spent all the money we've had so far this year.
Okay.
Except for $3,000. And there was some other purchases we looked at for this year's that we have targeted. One was the water system, and we also got $6,000 bill for that furnace up there.
Furnace.
So I was gonna try and use it for that. Next year's, the things we talked about targeting was to do the gas up here because our gas tank is unusable.
Mhm.
So I don't know what the numbers are. Have you been a chance to look to see what it costs to do that?
We're still working on it. I got. Right now, the big thing is, as long as we're just staying with diesel, we should be in pretty good shape. Shouldn't be, it shouldn't kill us. Do it, pretty much all we gotta have is, pass capacity. Our tank that's there will pass inspection, I do believe, the diesel tank. The only thing I was going more towards, because that can be set up to a static guard. We don't have to have like the static guard you have for gas. It's a little bit different. It's just a grounded system, pretty much around and around. If we were gonna be in this project, just go to a bigger tank, like 1,000. We're at 500, and the problem we're having is, take storms like this, we use so much for our delivery. So we gotta call them, and we do have the cars as backup. But another good thing is, if we can buy fuel, especially with it rising all the time, buy 1,000 gallons at a time at a cheaper rate. So that's up to you guys. If you wanna move up, step up to a bigger tank. The next thing is, it's just gotta have,
Containment fields?
it just gotta have a containment, which I'm pretty sure it's only gotta be half the capacity of the tank. And we gotta have a shelter over top that's just a couple 4x4s and somebody a little bit more talented with a saw than me. So, we're still working on that. I gotta make a couple calls with Phil Spezio, because he's got some detailed stuff that some of the other guys don't have. They pretty much know tank installation, whatever, but so a couple more phone calls, and I can give you guys a pretty close idea what that whole project would cost.
Cheaper to do it that way, you know, maybe go to Bixby's or say.
It is. We went to the card and it was a huge kill, guys. I forget what Dave told us that was last year. I ain't gonna hold you numbers, but it was a large amount that was costing us more.
I'll explain what happened. When they sold us using the cards, it sounded like a good idea because we had a problem with, especially the gas tank. Needed to be replaced and needed some special containment fields and all the other stuff, but you know better about it. Well, they explained we get the state contract price less taxes. Well, what ended up happening when I found it, and actually what the county, because the county didn't know this either, is we were getting the pump price less the taxes. So we were still paying at the pump prices, less taxes. Not the state contract price. The state contract price like 70, 80 cents a gallon less. So we got, you know, I looked at it and says, we're not saving any money. I called them up trying to explain it, and she had to kick me upstairs because I wouldn't take her answer. And they said, no, the problem is you're not getting the rebate on the difference between the pump price and the state contract price. You're just getting rebate on the taxes. So it was like I said, 80, 90 cents difference on gas, and it was worse on, it was about the same on diesel, but diesel's higher prices anyways.
So why we stayed with the gas on the card is because our diesel containment, what they want, the state DEC wants from us, and that's another thing, we'll have to start doing DEC inspections on these tanks. That's a whole other thing, but they're lenient about it now, but it's coming a little more. But for us to go keep store gas here, we're looking at 40 to 45,000 just for the gas now. For what we're paying a little bit more using the card, it's absolutely. Where with the diesel, we instantly saw like, we were losing money. So for compared to what it's gonna cost us to put this tank system in.
Was this through Bixby's itself, or was this
This-
those flex cards?
This is the Wex card,
Or the Wex card?
fleet card.
Bixby's.
We talked to Bixby's and as soon as they heard state contract taxes, whatever, they didn't want to mess with us.
They're the same deal as the Wex card. Is, because Perry's got it there, it's just, you get the tax taken off. You still pay whatever the pump price is, less than taxes.
That's where we lose, is with not having getting state contract. That's a huge savings for us, and
But I thought that's what the Wex cards were.
that's what he was saying, that's what we thought we were getting, was that, and we're not. We're just getting
Oh.
pump price less tax.
I can't trust the salesman, I know.
I actually wouldn't explain it to Tommy, because Tommy went to the Wex cards heavy,
Yeah,
and they said, what? I said, run your numbers. And they ran the numbers, they looked at me and said, I don't believe this, because we were told we're getting the state contract price.
Doesn't matter because it's New York, Vermont.
No, technically, no one in Vermont can give us a state contract price.
Yeah, we used to have something set up way back when. We used to have to do
Many
something.
moons ago, but it was never state contract. It was
No,
just-
we used to have
it
to
was
do
just a
something with the
monthly-
state of
We
Vermont.
would fill over there, the fire department used to do it as well, I don't know if they
Still
still do. You have a card for over there, and-
still do over at Bixby's.
Yep.
We
but you're paying frontline.
We pay whatever it is.
Yep.
Those trucks don't get filled that often.
Are we paying tax?
Whatever,
I believe you are.
I believe we are.
Regular straight up front
we
price.
get whatever.
We should be paying tax.
If you're buying it from Vermont,
Right in Vermont.
It doesn't matter. We're federally tax exempt organization.
that's right, federally. So I would
We
check
shouldn't
on
be
that.
paying tax.
Then that's
We shouldn't be
something,
paying sales
Well,
tax on anything we buy.
well, then that's something we need to,
Check on
I'll look at the bill. I'll look at the bill.
Does our tag, is it you diesel or gas?
All of them are now diesel. We don't have any more gas trucks.
Do we have a pump reader on our tank? No. So potentially, we could consider if we do that and get the $1,000 tank, is a.
You guys can fill there.
I was gonna ask.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask too, but I didn't know,
We're all
I mean,
along.
if you're gonna get a big tank and get it at the state contract price, help the fire company out, and we'll pay for what we can get, but if we can get it from you cheaper than we get it from Bixby's, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because we spent
It's probably a buck.
$2,000. That's something we're gonna do.
that's something,
Yeah.
again, that's something I'll have to look at the numbers and compare.
I know Whitehall, I'm pretty sure does that with their bus garage. Their bus garage fuels out there. I think they got 5,000 gallon tank. That all fuels out there.
We figure out the numbers, we gotta figure it out, so if we get the numbers together and figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So to circle back, so you're trying to figure out whether you're gonna be
Have the money to pay for the.
paid for the generator. So nobody's opposed to paying for the generator if we have.
No,
I'm
no.
not doing anything,
Good money on my part.
but I just wanna make sure that we're covering the things we gotta do, because those things we
Absolutely.
have to do, and if they come in and shut us down.
Even if it's, if we end up with $3,800 left.
Anything would be great.
Right.
Towards the generator,
Yeah,
it's-
that's
it's
exactly, we'll take
nothing.
whatever you
Yeah.
can. Because we did it. I mean, it's installed now, so it's gonna
Well,
be.
then the hell with you.
So,
It's not hooked up, yet, it's installed, but we haven't turned it on yet.
So we're having some technical difficulties.
We literally are. They won't
So
hook
is
up the
this-
gas.
They won't hook up the propane,
They won't hook up the propane.
Cool.
Files.
because it's supposed to be, like, there's supposed to be a
I-
5-foot,
No, so the electrician says that the code is 5 feet from the ground to a structure over it. Files is saying it has to be 5 feet from the top of the generator to what's over it. We stuck it underneath that walkway deck, the emergency exit to the post office. So there's 3 feet of open airspace, but the thing's 2 or 3 feet tall, so it's 6 feet off the ground. But there isn't 5 feet from the top of the generator to the deck, so Tad Files will hook it up. So now we're gonna have to either talk to him some more or move it.
And the reason we put it there is because it was kind of sheltered anyhow, so I thought that was a good idea. It was out there.
But once it's hooked up, we will announce to the community that it's available in an emergency. We'll be able to, people can come down and charge devices. If power is out, like one of those bad hurricanes, the power's out for a couple of days. We have a commercial kitchen. We can help feed people. We have several refrigerators, people can store stuff. people can get warm. So it'll be a community, the community resource for everybody.
But what, do you know, our next scheduled payment is due, oh, good Lord, when wasn't received? June, July? That's when our next scheduled payment comes in.
July is when their next payment comes in.
I'm not averse to it, but I just want to make sure we're.
Once you cover it, I'm good with it.
So this that you're talking about is the generator up
The
there.
generator up there.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about the generator here.
No, that's it, that'll be.
That'd be an addition, yeah.
Well, we can put it on the list and as soon as we get the numbers, we can evaluate.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, if it makes sense, I don't have a problem with generator in here.
Well, just
If
thinking-
you guys would want one, a generator.
I was thinking,
how would you
yeah.
have-
But the thing is, there's no kitchen facilities, it's just.
Well, no, but,
The town.
but for the,
Well, for the
highway.
Yeah.
And to stay warm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're in the middle of winter and it's below zero and it's out for 2 or 3 days, you can pack a bunch of people in here if you need to.
If you get big enough generator, we can probably feed both.
Maybe definitely go.
Probably have to trench underneath the.
The one that we got was people at these two properties.
Are
I got
they,
a 14,000 kilowatt generator with a whole building transfer switch. And so it will power the post office, our offices and the bays. And for what you guys do here, I'm pretty sure that 14,000 kilowatt would probably. be good.
the only question I have, is it a separate meter, does the power come in from the pole to there? Or does it come into here and then go over? Because if it comes into here, then goes over, one generator here is gonna run everything.
Pole over here, pole to the garage over here.
So it's separate, totally separate from the town hall.
It's one bill.
One bill,
Pole, the feed comes to there and then comes over here.
yeah, then you can run both buildings with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember how it's set up. I never have to look at it again.
And most people are booking 2 years out for generators. You go to, wherever they put that slate. That'd be met with.
Long Trail.
Long Trail, he's booking 2 years out, he can't even get the generators, you go to, Northern Tools, they can't get them for 2 years, I got a guy that has a cousin in Florida, you wanna know, he gets them, they're brand new, they're with warranties and everything, but he has them in stock.
Mhm.
And so I ordered it, and he put it in a month later.
Okay, I remember that when we get to that point. So hopefully next month, let's get a feel
For what we got.
what we need.
All
Okay,
right, thank you.
okay. Public comments. You guys been talking way too much.
Now, I got a comment.
Uh-oh.
Is there something that the town or you as supervisor can do about Verizon? Both their cell signal and their home service. I don't actually use it, so it doesn't affect, I use the cell, I don't use the home furniture somewhere. But that is the worst company in the world, and they still have customers here. The cell is down. We don't have AT&T coverage for part of, or I don't know, I have 2 cell phones with it. My AT&T doesn't work over here, the tower, I think, is in Bolton. And so the Verizon tower is supposed to help cover it. We can't apply some pressure.
I'd be willing to call them. They'll ignore me just as well as they ignore you.
Where's the Verizon tower?
The only pressure is public service commission to get them to do anything that's hard.
Yeah, 'cause
Give me the phone, can I get the phone number from you? Well, if there's public service commission, I'll look it up. Okay.
Public service commission.
I'm not public, but I got a complaint with Verizon too, with the highway department.
it's-
Just
it's-
parking next to a pole for 8 hours during a snowstorm. And then they write down they can't complete the project, and have to stay on it to get their money. It's getting old. I asked them to move and they said, no, we are on a job site, we're waiting for the weather to clear to climb the pole, and I said, it's gonna be snow in the next 10 hours.
was that on the South Road?
Yep.
By the brook?
Yep, right by the brook, 2 days in a row, they park truck right, they park facing each other, so they can see each other playing on their phone. I just checked nicely asked, I said, can you guys just pull up onto the Pratt, I'll pull up Pratt Road, but we have to remain on the project. So we should leave the town to apply pressure. Call the police, get them over there, get a tow truck over there. I mean, there's way to play, fight fire with fire. They're interfering with town business. Find them.
I didn't even think they'd come
No,
out and
I'm
work.
100% serious.
No, I-
It's the only company that I have that does this. The only other one I have problems with in that 30 inches of snow last year. They dropped their spool right where the dirt goes to blacktop on Hills Pond. But I'll give it, their work shift started, that they were moving.
Mhm.
Things are gone. Those rising guys will park right there. Nothing all day.
The town could pass something saying that vehicles that are impeding the work of the town highway department will face the following fines. Individuals X, commercial vehicles quadruple X. That's what Verizon cares about. They care about money. Hit them with a $10,000 fine for blocking the truck.
In their snaps, the lawyers, they were sick on us.
Who cares?
I didn't
I don't
honestly think
that
Verizon
we need
did.
to Pass anything. I think that if they are doing that, that we should be able to make a phone call and say, hey, somebody come and get these vehicles moved because we have.
It's blocking the emergency way too.
If there's an accident.
The company that was there, you can't afford, it wasn't Verizon, it was something. EF something like, and they worked, they come in, them guys out camping and stuff, they were drilling holes. These Verizon guys come in and just sat there, one guy got out and looked at the pole, I thought that was pretty impressive.
No, I noticed that too, because our fire truck couldn't have gotten by them. The ER with the two trucks sitting there as wide as South Road is, or as narrow as South Road is, the ER would have been off the road to go by them, and it was winter, the way they were sitting there.
When was this?
Just like a month, in the last month, there was two Verizon trucks sitting on South Road all day long with nobody doing
And it's
anything.
not just, it's everywhere. It's in
I
Granville.
haven't seen
They just
it.
park there and they put their little signs up and
Do nothing.
I mean, you can complain to people and you can find them.
Definitely.
I'll talk to the sheriff. I think there's already laws out there.
And just another heads up, speaking to the sheriff, I was in touch with the sheriff's department today. There's a scam going around, I don't know if you guys, some of you are on this Facebook page, but there's a scam where a lot of our town residents were approached today on via text message on our phone, asking to verify a delivery address, and if you click the link, it's either a virus and or a phishing scam. They're trying to get personal information out of you. Some people were actually hit the link and then they requested money from the people to get the package delivered. So it's a scam. The post office has been notified because they investigate that stuff. The sheriff's office is involved now. And so there is a scam going around. It's not just for Hampton, but a lot of Hampton residents got hit with this text message this morning. Yeah,
I was just saying, I got hit with that this morning, because I looked at it this morning, I'm like, this looks odd, because it's saying, oh, if you don't update your USPS, profile, your package is gonna be, taken back. I'm like, good luck.
Okay. I'll talk to the sheriff. Pay bills, make a note on the last warrant last month. We had two bills for 1/16. One was for Dan Stolzenberg. We still haven't got the contract from the state signed, so.
Yeah,
we
I
can't
got a
extend-
note here to call Jeff Keel again, because when I called him the last time, he said that at that point, which was probably a month ago, that the state was 2 months behind in approving those things. Once they think some of those people should go to work.
So Nan Stolzenberg, can't pay her until.
Right.
So took that off the bill. The second one was we told Twin Bridges to come pick up their trash cans and they kept on billing us. So I said, we're not gonna pay it. I called and told them we're not gonna pay it because we told you to pick up the things 2 months ago. And they didn't. So I made sure I filled the trash cans with garbage before they picked them up.
So we're not paying that one either, the Twin Bridges.
This was withdrawn
Oh,
from last month.
That was last month.
Do you need to make anything about that?
Yeah, I'll make a resolution acknowledging the fact that the two bills that were not paid last month. One would be expected to be paid once the contract was signed, the other is.
Never gonna be paid. I will second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Will not make the motion. I will second it and I will audit the bills when we're done. Just because I got real late.
Yep, I've already looked at them, so I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Mike,
I'll
second by Mr. Sadie. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you guys not dealing with Twin Bridges anymore?
we want to keep it in Washington County. So see
So
the,
who, Twin Bridges, where are they from?
Hudson Falls and Troy. He owns Waste Management.
Hey, I didn't know.
And then he's actually being, so his big thing, no Waste Management with 10-year no contest. and he got back into this thing, and Waste Management's trying to sue him about something. The guy's he's a good businessman, he's a madman. So he bought out Goodspeed Services. That's who we had. That's why we wound up with Twin Bridges.
That's how we had good speed.
He bought out, what's his name?
Does he charge you for the service?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a bill.
I haven't seen the
We
bill
don't,
yet.
but he gives it to the fire company for free, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah.
See, what we did is
Keyword, yeah, I haven't seen a bill yet.
Goodspeed never charged us.
Right.
Yeah,
The last year, he said he finally, I mean, I went 2 years free, so I finally got charged something, whatever. Twin Bridges bought him out, and then they just went with his straight rate, whatever, so. They're one of those businesses, they really don't care about the local, whatever, so me and her made a decision that we should support CV. CV Race does a lot for the Washington County Superintendent Association, so.
Can you get us any information from you? About that? See,
Just in case you get a bill.
because if I get a bill, I pay it.
okay. Note that.
Yeah, please.
Tell Bridget.
Tell Bridget.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Yeah,
Tell
tell
your wife.
Bridget.
Don't pay that bill.
If I go on, shut up.
If we, yeah.
Sorry.
Just like
Don't
that.
pay that bill.
I don't need those copies.
No wonder I couldn't find it. She had it.
Now, I got a question. I need to-
Did anybody
Council
join
President,
that Zoom meeting?
Is Faith taking the classes? They
She
should
better
have started,
be.
they should, we're supposed to have started like this week.
No, they start next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just gotta stop, right?
That's up to her.
yep,
If she doesn't take those classes, I'm gonna sue them.
You know, if you do, you're the one that puts these in place.
Dave does.
Because I read them on, I can't see that. You know, I read them on my computer.
Oh, gotcha.